So here's the 930, and she is sat a little bit higher than usual, and that is because our engine is over there somewhere. We are here just to really check out how bad our clutch actually is. We've been nursing this along for, it's probably about 5 years now. It's never kind of felt quite right since we got the car, but we've just nursed it, dealt with some other stuff. There's a long journey with this, but we're here. The engine is finally out of the 930. Let's check this out and see how bad it is. So here it is. This is the engine. There is the gearbox set there. The gearbox mounts don't look horrendous. That is the engine, and we'll take a look at the front. Matt is here because obviously I'm useless with tools. We are going to break it open. We know what a good clutch looks like.
Well, we've got an example underneath. We've got a brand new one.
We've got a new clutch.
We have been telling Scott for nearly 2 years.
I've been nursing this for at least 5 or 6 years.
That's what he says to me every time.
And now we're going to get to see how bad it is. Is this going to be a complete horror story, or will it just not quite look as bad as I thought it would do? I wonder how thin it is.
See what your flywheel is. Well, we're not going to see it until we actually get the pressure plate off of the flywheel, so just give us a moment here. We've got the last bolt coming off.
We have got a bit of an oil leak that we're fixing as well. I think we're going to pull front timing chain housing this side, but it's right at the back. It is. So we had a problem once at the front. We fixed all this, so this is all good and no problems at all. So we're going to do obviously both sides of the timing chain case, and we'll sort that out. This engine is in actually pretty good condition. Here we go, here we go, here we go.
And we are
we're off. So there's the 930 gearbox. I think we're in actually, that looks
very clean.
That is in actually really good condition, and I've never had a problem changing gears or anything in this.
Your fork's in very good condition too.
Yeah, yeah, it's never been an issue. Okay. The clutch is a different story. I think this is gonna look horrendous. Will it come off and be in one piece?
Oh, I would have to
I think
say
it will do, but it was, the pedal was all the way out, wasn't it?
That's not meant to do that, Scott.
There's something broken inside.
That's meant to be retained by the by those fingers.
Just a bit of leverage. It's not horrendous. I genuinely thought it was going to be a lot worse. Surprisingly not bad.
That's actually not that old. That's got some life in it still.
That's a little odd.
The measurements with these rivets that hold the actual friction material on, and we've still got some depth there.
Yeah, a little bit.
On both sides too. Not. Sometimes you see one side that's totally gone, just from the heat.
Is it a little bit uneven?
I wouldn't say it's great because you
it's uneven.
It's not been touching.
Because there you can see it is not. The dirt mark. Yeah, it's not touched, and the depth there is enormous. Yeah. Where up there, you can see it's nearly flat.
And that may have been because of the pressure plate and that release spring, which is meant to be held on there. Well, that's missing, but anyway. I expected a lot worse from it.
Yeah.
Seeing the amount of
play in it.
Well, it wasn't the play, it was how much we had to wind the adjuster screw in to actually get the 1 mil clearance. So that lever was right forward. We had to wind it all the way in, so we actually had a decent clutch feel to it. And
there's some, like it's not been held in place properly, has it?
No.
And then it has worn on an angle.
Yeah, and we'll probably find if you did a measurement that some of these fins would be sitting a little bit deeper than the others, and that's where all the tension on the clutch comes from. Yeah, you can see these marks here where it hasn't been touching the pressure plate.
And definitely here, there's really some depth in the plate.
And not here.
And not there, yeah, because they are...
That one, sorry, yeah. So there's two sides to the rivet. So one side holds one on, the other one holds the other one on. So you actually measure from these closest rivets. The difference in the thickness of the material if you're really looking at those rivets.
Yeah.
And how much material's actually left.
Yeah, that is... Ow, 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 ow. That is definitely thicker and more solid.
You hurt yourself on the new one.
Yeah, I did. I don't know how. I genuinely thought that was going to come out in parts.
Yes, absolutely. From what we were talking about and how long you've been nurturing it.
Yeah. But it might have been this.
Yes.
And then definitely how this kind of fell out. You should just point out on this one, high tension springs. So this one's got 4 springs there.
With centre springs inside as well.
And then this one's got 6 springs, and probably it doesn't look like there's a centre spring in those either.
Has 4 bigger springs and 2 smaller springs, top and bottom. Well, top.
Yeah, so that should be a much better feel.
More bite. That side's not too bad. So this is the flywheel side. We're going to have to send the flywheel out to get machined. Just by looking at the flywheel, she has some blue marks on.
Yeah, there's a bit of blue
So
there,
you're
isn't
not
there?
gonna bite.
Yeah, so that'll go off. In fact, to be fair, there's a fair bit of blue there.
Yes, that's excessive. You can see the hot spots here.
Yeah,
these little tiny spots
yeah.
is where actually, and it would have given clutch shutter as well. You can see where it's been picking up, and you got this blue ring all the way around. But these are hot spots which you don't want because that makes the metal protrude.
Yeah, that is a lot bluer than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, and those hot spots really clear to see there. So probably a combination of things have gone on with that clutch. Yeah,
Or last time the flywheel wasn't machined, and if it wasn't machined, you don't have it won't bite the material, friction material won't bite on the flywheel the same, and it will just spin and create more of this blue hot spot.
Yeah, and
Seeing we don't have it on the pressure plate, I would say that's what's happened. This hasn't been machined last time. We've got hot spots on this, and I think on our pressure plate we're pretty good for hot spots. I don't think it's that bad. No, it's not too bad. You can still see it.
Yeah, it's still got them.
That will be caused definitely by the spring there.
That is going to go off to a machine shop.
And just get
literally
refaced.
just round the corner.
Yes. I have a gentleman who does all my machine work, metal work, fabrication, whatever I need done.
And I guess they just take
They just take as little off as possible to get it flat again and bring back the surface of the steel.
We're just saying as well, like you can touch it and it is smooth. It's got some ridges in it, bless it, but it is smooth. Because I'm assuming it shouldn't be that smooth because it needs something to be able to bite and grip, and there is nothing on that. I'm surprised I haven't had more problems. And there we go.
Oh, look at that. Nice clean remade. Someone's been in there and done it.
Yeah, because the engine's had a lot of work, like the upgraded turbo, 964 cams. There's a bit more to this engine than is stock.
You can actually see where you can see the marks where it's meant to have in it.
Yeah.
See the sort of cross hatching.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's meant to all look like that. So you literally run a circular stone over it to skim it all down. Most of the problem's actually probably inside here where the fulcrum point is. So it's the pivot point where these fins are pulled by the release fork and moves this area away from the clutch disc. You just start binding up with all the dirt and years of sitting there getting used.
Yeah.
Obviously you can see some rust in there. So
Yeah.
the rust is going to inhibit pour. Like you can see where all these pins hold it all together.
Yeah.
If I had enough force, I could push that and you would see all this move, but that's just not going to happen.
No. Although the gearbox is actually really clean and tidy in there, we're going to replace the guide tube and the fork. Fork is, you're right, it's got like a little bit of an edge on it there, but new fork, new guide tube. There we go. Oh, that's remarkably clean compared to the one that's in there.
Instead of having a little tiny ridge on there, it'll be flat. And see how it's got a little bit of a curvature to it.
So that is what we want smooth.
Yes. Yes, you don't want flathead.
This is not what we want to So I guess while it's all apart, you may as well do it all and just make sure it's all gonna be sorted. We are not half-arsing it here.
Whilst we're out, we're gonna, we know we've got an oil leak from the timing housing here. So we're gonna pull the muffler off. We're gonna delete the aircon bracket here.
Now, you said that, and I said, hang on a minute.
You did.
Now, the only reason, I think when these have the aircon off, somebody should design a little tray that screws into this, because when you're in the back and you're checking the oil and things like that, it's actually nice to have it. And I know that comes across as a stupid idea, but it's actually really handy to have that little spot there.
Isn't that why they have turbo wings, so they can put their picnic table?
Yeah. Honestly, if that had a little tray on it, whenever you were doing stuff in the engine, you're like, oh, I've got somewhere to put it. And then that becomes so much more functional than it ever was.
The aircon.
With the because that aircon's rubbish.
It'll be the 3-bolt gasket that goes through to the to your camshaft that will be leaking out the back side of the timing housing. There's also an O-ring that sits on that plate as well.
And that is the last oil leak we've got on the 930. New clutch, fix the oil leak, we're good.
We're good.
And then we can focus on the other engine.
We'll find some cylinders.
Yeah, we'll do that later. Yeah. Well, I picked the car up and I'm just driving past Parliament House here in Melbourne, and the clutch is an absolute delight. Bites really early. It doesn't feel like the clutch pedal is going to be in the back seat there somewhere. It's just running so much better. Now, while I'm driving through the city, I should probably talk about some other things that I've had done with the car. The oil leak has most definitely been fixed. Stop here at a red light. Had a little bit of a problem with a spark plug lead. It had perished and the rubber had split open. So new spark plug leads, new spark plugs, because they were blacked out and full of all carbon. They were never going to burn themselves clean, so I'd had like a bit of a flutter on it, so clearly the car wasn't quite running properly. It runs like an absolute dream now. New tyres as well. Pete set us up with a set of Goodyear. I was running Pirellis, but they were about 1,640 Australian dollars for a set. These Goodyears were 880, and I'm going to argue that they are a better tyre. I've not had the Pirellis long, and they'd started to crack all on the sidewall and actually on the tread as well, so they weren't safe, so they did need replacing. So the car, the clutch and the flywheel make a lot better, so it does feel like I'm putting the power down a little bit more freely, so the car does feel a whole lot better. It's sparking more, feels like it's just got not only more power, but it's putting the power down. And then with the new set of tyres as well, I feel like I am ready to go.